Yo YouTube, this is my video for Tuesday the 30th of September, and I'm on my way to my first job of the day, which is a Wisbech to Shipley short wheelbase van job. The time now is 11:30 and I need to be on site for 12 to pick up. The actual loaded miles is 147, and I got this job for £150, 150. When I bid on the job though, the CX said it was 136 miles. So between it being put up for bidding and being delivered to me, 11 miles have come from somewhere. But I did overbid a bit, so I don't really mind. I still got a good rate for it. I'm about 25 minutes now from the pickup, and it's about a total of 27 miles to get from my house to Wisbech. And yes, it's a good job. I'm going to try and get just a straight job back down from Shipley towards the East Midlands and then call it a day. I think I'll be finished around about 3:30, so I'm hoping there'll be work available for me. I didn't work yesterday, again Monday. I do quite like having unexpected days off. It's really quite enjoyable. I decided yesterday that, I started on Sunday night because I'd not won a job for the Monday morning. I thought I'll probably have tomorrow off, and I'll use that day to catch up with my admin that's bugging me. And so I did finally catch up with all my video editing. I'm now fully up to date, so I've got 2 weeks worth of videos all done. And I did my emails, and I didn't quite get all the other bits and pieces done that I was going to do, but I'm much more on top of things now than I was. And today is the last day of the month, September. I'm using this as a bit of a celebration day for September. It's been a really good month for me. I had a good combination of working and resting and earning a decent amount of money. And so I'm just appreciating and grateful for that. And I'm hoping that next month will be a similar experience before it starts getting difficult again. But I will let you know how today goes. It's a bit touch and go as to whether I get anything from Shipley or not, because of the time of the day I'll be there. It has been a very late start. I was looking for jobs this morning, and I was bidding on stuff. Obviously didn't win anything at all, and I was being a bit selective about where I would go. I wasn't going to get to London in the morning. I wasn't going to drive too far from home to pick up a load. So if Wisbech is about as far as I want to go. I would go to King's Lynn if it was the right journey. I would go to Corby if it was the right journey, but it tends to be more drivers around the Corby area, which is an hour from where I live, and less drivers in King's Lynn, which is an hour from where I live the other direction. So I tried to keep it a bit more local today, and that's why it's a bit later. Right, have a lovely day, and I'll speak to you on my return. Hi there YouTube. So I've just uploaded my job at Shipley. I was off site at just gone 4 o'clock. It's now 4:20. I'll put a map up to show you where I am. There's quite a few active drivers in my area around Shipley, and I think, having a look at the feed for that sort of 10 minutes, I think it's unlikely I'm going to pick up a job that's particularly good for me tonight. Bear in mind, time is moving on. So I'm going to head towards Leeds, Wakefield area, because I think it'll be a better area to pick up a job. I'm a bit out of the way here, and I can't really take a job unless it's going southeast, and yeah, it's looking unlikely. So I'm just going to start to head in that general direction, which is on the way home. It'll take me, if I just check according to Google Maps how far Wakefield is. So if I head to Wakefield, it'd take me an hour to get there. So yeah, it's not looking good, I must say. That route takes me through Bradford. I don't like Bradford, it's too busy usually. So I'm a bit stuck in this area. Middle of not really a great place to find a job. So I'm just going to head back towards Leeds and hopefully it comes up around that area. I just wanted to let you know that when I was in Shipley looking for a job, there was a great job picking up around about half an hour from where I was, roughly, going to something like Slough or Reading maybe. It was about 200 miles, and I was going to put a bid on it because that would make my day, and then I realised that the shipper's feedback was pretty poor. It was 122 positive feedbacks, 4 neutral and 3 negative. So I would say there's 7 out of 120, which is a really poor return, I would say, on feedbacks for paying drivers on time. And I chose not to even bid on that job, which would have been great for me, but I just know I would have had hassle trying to chase the money. And one of the things that I do differently now is I do take into account the paying record of the companies, and I don't now bid at all on the companies I don't feel I can trust. And that is a big difference to the past, where that wouldn't be part of my thinking. I've just learned over the time I've been on CX that the hassle, you do a great job for these people, and the hassle, try and chase the money and try and prove X, Y, or Z, it's just not worth it for me. It's not worth the carrot of the £200. It's all very well thinking that exists. It probably doesn't even exist. It's probably a company that's going to not bother paying, and then you have to chase them, and then not getting it. So I definitely feel that's a change in my approach. It does mean that I have less opportunities to get jobs than I would otherwise have done. I'm hoping it means moving forward I have less problems with getting payments. I'm currently driving down the M62 towards Wakefield, just south of Leeds. My ETA to get home from here is 2.25 hours, and so I'll keep looking for jobs. I might hang around this area, Wakefield, for a bit, or I might just keep going home. It seems a long shot that I'll get any sort of suitable job. And one last point, on reflection, when I got my job coming up today, there was a couple of things that delayed me. Well, a few things that delayed me, and I think added up to being a significant delay in the end. So I got stuck behind a very slow-moving tractor on a lane as I left my home. That probably delayed me by about 10 minutes to get to the pickup. At the pickup point, I was delayed because I didn't quite know what I was taking. For another 10 minutes. And then the journey up, I had congestion and closed roads. By the time I got to the drop-off, it had just gone 4 o'clock. All those delays added up. So I was thinking I should have been finished about 3, maybe 3:15, if all had gone well. As it was an hour later, and it was just a bit too late to get a job. So it's hard to know, isn't it, for sure, at sort of 11 o'clock, half past 10, 11 o'clock, whether one job's going to take up your whole day, because you don't know what days you're going to have. But it is a risk, isn't it, doing this? And there will be late night jobs from the Leeds Wakefield area, but whether I can cope doing them is probably another question altogether. There's not going to be anything that goes anywhere near where I live. There's a job going from Gainsborough to Milton Keynes, and I would do that job, but it was pick up at 8 o'clock. And I worked out that it would take me 4 hours in total to do that, and I'd be home at midnight. So it's just not worth. I can't delay going on dialysis to that late. So it's a bit of a quandary, really, what I should do. I'm probably going to end up just going home and just call it at the end of the month. and just take it as being, it's been a good month. It's the last day of September. I had a good month. Think about that and not worry too much about today itself being pretty poor. This job that I got today will be a little bit added to the pot when I get my invoices on the 30th of October. So, okay, I'm going to come back to you either with a job or my stats, and the stats will be my daily stats, which will be very quick, and also my monthly stats, which will be very good for me. So we'll end on a positive for doing that. Right, YouTube, I'm back with you. It's been a bit of a time jump though since that last clip. Today it is the 15th of October right now, and I couldn't find that last clip with my stats on. So before I publish this video in about an hour's time, I shall just do the stats based on my spreadsheet. So on that Tuesday, which was the last day of September, just over 2 weeks ago, I got home in the end at 7:30, having just gone straight home from Shipley, and I had driven a total of 304 miles, 304. My working day was a total of 8.25 hours by the time I got home, and I just earned the one CX job's worth of money, £150, 150. My fuel for the day was £41.65. That was based on an average fuel price of that week of being 13.70 pence per mile, which meant that I made net of fuel £108, 108. And now I shall go through September, which will be probably the best month I ever do. So in September, for the whole month, I worked for 17 days, which is the most days I've worked in any month this year. I drove a total amount of miles in the month of September of 6,902. 6,902. My gross turnover for that month was £4,545. 4545. My total fuel costs for that month came to £968, 968, which meant that, taking into account fuel and tolls, my net earnings came to £3,577, 3577. But then I'm going to take off from that figure my nominal amount I set aside for business costs, my fixed business costs, which would be £1,365 per month, 1365, and therefore the actual amount of money that I took home that would be taxable and that would be my personal income for that month came to £2,212. September was an amazing month, and as I said at the start of this little bit, unlikely that I'll ever beat that. I think that's probably going to be the best I'll ever do. Certainly I'll do this year, and unless things change radically next year, I don't think I'll do better next year either. So I'm really pleased with that. It gives me a good buffer of money to get me through to the rest of the year without worrying too much, and also the start of next year. Helps me pay my tax bill as well, which comes up in January. Right, so I will take, what I shall do now is slightly ruin the continuity of the whole videos system that I've got in place. I'll just update you as to where I am today, 15th of October, because I think it's probably worth you knowing when this video comes out that there's going to be a bit of a delay in some videos. What I'm aiming to do is to get all my editing done for the week that we're in, which is the first week of October, and then the following week I did a bit of work. I think it was about I did 3 days the following week. That was last week. But I haven't actually worked at all this week, and I'm probably going to be working only on Friday. So what I shall end up doing is, when I release these videos next week, they will get you all up to date. But I had a cold this week, and I'm still suffering from it a little bit. It's not been that easy to get motivated to get on the road, and I had some other things going on as well, which I spoke about in one of the videos. So yeah, I'll be back hopefully next week, sort of properly back at it. But I have learnt from this experience that I can't just ignore my like things like colds anymore, you know, sprayed ankles. These things really just stop me working completely now. I can't just work through them like I would have done when I was younger. I do have to take some time off to sort of recover, and I don't feel guilty about it. It's just the way I am at the moment. In terms of my age, really, I suppose. I'm sure that makes sense to you all. And I'll publish this very soon, and then I'll also publish my last video for last Wednesday as well today. So thank you for listening. Oh, I've almost forgot. I hope that you are all being successful, no matter how you define that word for yourselves. And I thank you for listening, and I shall see. Well, your next video will be today for next Wednesday, so I can't do the usual end, but I will say farewell, friends.